Guys, today I want to talk about loot. Now, coming from Destiny 2, loot is everything to us. We will crawl to hell and back if it means fantastic loot is on the other side. And let me just say, guys, Arc Raiders is no different. You will have to go through hell to get some of the best items in the game. But today, though, I want to go over what those best items are. Now, for the most part, everything still follows the same tiers of rarities that's existed in all games. But just because an item isn't yellow doesn't mean it's not one of the best finds in the entire game. Today's video is going to give you a definitive list of the strongest, most valuable, the best items in the game, including weapons, quick use items, trinkets, etc. Now, this is information we have pulled from previous playtests, the server slam, and the full game preview. Now, quick disclaimer, this video was made before the launch of Arc Raiders, so things may be altered in some way, at least details pertaining to rarity and acquisition. And then, of course, we may have some items that Embark has just been keeping secret this entire time, which is very likely. With that being said, though, I want you to treat this video as almost like a loot warning video. That way, when you're out and about surviving in the Rust Belt or dying, you know which items you should be prioritizing, which takes us to blueprints. The most important items above anything else are blueprints, which is why you should definitely prioritize putting your blueprints into your safe slot. And anything less than the Holy Grail itself, throw that thing out of the safe slot and put the blueprint in there. You see, crafting is at the core of Arc Raiders progression. And without a blueprint, you can't craft many of the high-end guns, or the tools, or quick use items, the traps, etc. During the Arc Raiders preview, there were 68 blueprints total. Sure, some blueprints may be for mundane items, but all of them are valuable. Crafting gives you the freedom to make any item you need without relying on vendors or luck on the surface. Granted, not every item is craftable, but once you unlock a blueprint, you have that recipe forever, unless you reset your account after completing an expedition, but that's a topic for another video. The best places, though, to find blueprints will be from in-game events like Harvester or dangerous points of interest and secret rooms, which takes us to our next set of items, keys. You see, during the server slam, many folks got up to some shenanigans, sneaking into locked rooms with baller loot that normally requires an access key. And I hope you all enjoyed your fun while it lasted, because Embark has actually come out and said that they are patching this exploit and keys will be required to enter all of these rooms in the future. Not all secret rooms are created equal, though. Certain rooms have more loot than others, but all of these secret rooms will contain much better loot than you normally find in one area. Most of these rooms are guarded by Arc or in high traveled areas. So if you're going to use a key, I would advise arriving early in a match and then dipping as quickly as you can to avoid attracting too much unwanted attention. Now, you can find keys topside during a raid, but oftentimes you'll find a key that's for a door on a different map. For instance, during the server slam, I got multiple keys, many of which were for other maps. We got one for Blue Gate, but I couldn't use it because at the time we were limited to damn battlegrounds. That won't be the case, though, for the full game. Now, if you'd like to get your hands, though, on some guaranteed keys, you'll need to complete feats for your Raider deck. This will require some grinding, but near the very end of the free deck, one of the item packs has a looting augment, 3 door keys, and a Raider hatch key, which is also very valuable. Raider hatch keys are essentially used for when you're in a pinch and you need to extract quickly. These are distinctly marked on the map, and you're able to extract without setting off any alarms. Now, you also want to keep this in a safe slot if possible. It's not end of the world if you lose it, but it can guarantee a successful run if you're stacked with good loot. Now, the Raider hatch key can be purchased from Shani in the Traders tab, or even crafted with a leveled utility bench, and also found while scavenging topside. So the main takeaway, guys, keys are important. They help you obtain some fantastic loot in those rooms. Now, with all this talk about safe slots, at this point, you're probably already frustrated because just starting out, you only have one. And if you're running a free loadout, you don't have access to any safe slots. How on earth are you supposed to protect multiple items with limited safe slots? This is one of the reasons why high tier augments are so valuable. One of the biggest complaints from the server slam was folks felt like they had very limited inventory space. This was because higher tier augments were extremely rare. The higher level your augments are, the more total weight and slots you are given. Not only that, but there are 3 separate augment archetypes, each with different benefits. You've got combat, tactical, and looting. For instance, the epic tactical augment gives you 3 safe slots, which could allow you to protect a lot of high-end loot every run. Granted, you can't put a weapon in this, but you can put everything else. I do want to mention, though, that each augment type has its own trade-offs, though. So really, the best one is going to be subject to your particular playstyle. Now, at launch, high-end augments will also have subtypes and unique passives granting you bonuses, like smoke after shield break and healing after a revive. Now, we're unsure if these are assigned randomly, but we've seen them appear on both rare and epic augments. Now, currently, we don't know know if legendary augments still exist. Since the initial tech test, augments have undergone many updates, and we've yet to see a legendary augments, but I'm curious to see if these are going to roll out. Now, augments are craftable or purchasable from Lance and can even be earnable via the Raider deck, which takes us to an item, guys, that I need you to desperately lock down if you ever come across the snap hook. Despite being nerfed since its debut in early tech tests, the snap hook is still one of the best items in the game. It's great for movements and traversal. It allows you to grapple up to 20 meters in any direction, which is incredible in a game like Arc Raiders. Now, with that being said, it is extraordinarily rare. We received confirmation via a screenshot on Reddit during the server slam that the snap hook will be craftable though, but it will require a level 3 utility station, 2 power rods, 3 rope, and 1 Exodus module. And of course, the snap hook blueprint itself, which is why you gotta lock in those blueprints, guys. There is one available though in the Raider deck, and there's also a small chance to find it topside, but again, it's extremely rare. Even the components to craft it, like the power rods and the Exodus modules, are rare. So let me just say, guys, if you get your hands on a snap hook and you're having to decide whether or not you should keep it, fellas, lock it down. It is invaluable. Now listen, I know up to this point, you're probably bored. You don't care about utility items. You just want to know what are the best guns. Now, I do want to mention this is not the last time we're going to talk about the best guns in Arc Raiders. We are going to return to this topic probably a multitude of times, maybe even individually for certain weapons. But I still wanted to condense the best weapons into a single segment, just in case you come across one of these. Now, just like augments though, I also want to mention that all weapons have their trade-offs and their best use cases. Some are bad, but many are really solid. And I just want to highlight some options that will really perform well for you. For PvP, I came across a weapon called the Torrent. It is absolutely insane. During the server slam, I was mowing down entire squads. It's an LMG that fires so many bullets so fast, most players don't know how to respond in time. Now, this does mean you go through a ton of ammo, and it also requires frequent repairs, but it's good against players. It's even decent against arc combatants, and it is a weapon I highly suggest you keep your eye on. Another great weapon early on for PvP is Anvil. Think of Anvil as like a 120 round per minute hand cannon inside of Destiny. It absolutely chunks, and it's got great peak capabilities. I would say if you come across Anvil, guys, definitely worth picking up and using. It's got a bit of a learning curve, but as soon as you get that down, it does a tremendous amount of damage that will carry you against players and arc. The last weapon I want to mention, and I know there is a ton of weapons that you could start off with, but I think a weapon that you should definitely work toward is Renegade. A solid weapon that you've probably heard many people glaze, and for good reason. It takes medium ammo, it's lever action. You come across one of these guys, lock it down. Now, for my people that are just wanting to find good weapons for PvE, maybe you just want something to deal with arc, Hullcracker might be one of the best weapons to dealing with arc combatants. During our preview, we got to play with this thing, and it is insane against arc combatants. It uses launcher ammo, and fellas, it shreds bastions, bombardiers, rocketeers. It's crazy that these enemy types, which gives you so much hell early on, can be killed this quickly with Hullcracker. The downside, though, is that it's not effective against other players, so you'll need a swap-off weapon of some sort to deal with enemy players. With that being said, though, in the higher difficulty maps, arc are the more imminent problem than raiders, which is why weapons like Hullcracker is going to be invaluable at those higher levels. Even when I take into account the other legendary weapons like the Equalizer and Jupiter, those are good weapons. The Equalizer fires the same laser as the Queen, and Jupiter is a sniper rifle that has great single shot damage. I just think, and this is just my opinion, I think Hullcracker is even better than that. And you can purchase it directly from TN Win, which already makes it a bit more accessible. Again, we'll be getting all these weapons at some point, and we will be doing direct comparisons between each of these. Now, some honorable mentions though. Tempest is a pretty good weapon in PvE and in PvP. Anvil, like we mentioned just a second ago, Toro and Volcano are both great options to quickly pump enemy players. And if you're not looking to risk any high-end loot, I would actually say the Pharaoh and Stitcher combo is always solid. Pharaoh is also a really good weapon. Yes, it's slow, but it's got great target acquisition. It allows you to fight up into that mid-range. Really, really solid. Now, almost all of these weapons that we mentioned here, you can purchase and craft. The higher tier ones will require blueprints, but I really love that everything here, for the most part, can be craftable. And that's really the end game, is to work your way up to the point where you can craft everything. Now, killing raiders out in the wild means you can loot their weapons. And in areas with abundant loot, there's a chance you find a weapon as well. Now, throughout each map are scattered gun cases as well. These are guaranteed to carry a weapon, so keep your eyes open for them. Now, something most new players don't realize is just how good your weapon gets just by upgrading them. Take the Anvil, for instance. Upgrading it to level 4 gives you 18.75% reduced dispersion explosion recovery time, as well as plus 30 durability, and a 75% increase in fire rates. That means you're shooting almost twice as fast. And this is the case for a lot of weapons. Too many players are focused on getting the highest rarity weapon without upgrading the weapons they already have. And to do that, you need gun parts. You see, these upgrades can be crafted from simple gun parts, but they require a blueprint, which does take a little bit of time to acquire. Alternatively, you could purchase gun parts from Celeste or find them in the raider caches and security areas. Now, if you see them, keep them, because until you get the necessary blueprints, these will be in short supply, but the benefits to your loadouts are massive. Now, in that same vein are weapon mods. These will dramatically alter the performance of your weapon, especially once you get up to epic mods. For instance, the Silencer 3 reduces your durability burn rate by 20%, and the horizontal grip dramatically reduces recoil and ADS speed. There are even legendary mods like the Anvil Splitter and Kinetic Converter, which further boost weapon performance. Now, if you find a weapon with one of these mods, you can remove it and then apply it to a weapon of your choice, as long as they are compatible. Again, most, if not all of these should be craftable, but you'll need blueprints for those high-end ones. At launch, your best bet to find these may be PvP engagements. And who knows, if you get lucky and the raider you took out has one of these mods equipped on their weapon, well, hell yeah, man. But for the rest of us, we'll be buying our weapon mods from TNWin. And this takes us to the Queen. No, I'm not talking about Mara. I'm talking about this bad baby. You see, the goal is to work your way up to kill the Queen. And it's perhaps one of the most difficult achievements in our graders. I personally never killed the Queen, but this was literally Benny's loadout, which was barely enough to kill the Queen. And let me just say, it was after the entire server came together to take out the Queen. But the rewards for killing the Queen are worth it, man. Items like the Magnetic Accelerator and the Queen Reactor is what was required to upgrade your refinery in the early playtests. Now, if you can't kill a Queen, there is always the option to kill other players after a Queen fight, but that too is risky, because if they can kill a Queen, it's a good chance they can kill you. But these components from the Queen can also be used to craft the Equalizer, or of course you could sell it for some serious coin. I'm really curious to see how this one plays out in the real game. I have a feeling everyone's gonna get the Queen to like the final 10% of her health and then just start killing each other, man. So if you do happen to be scavenging around the map and you see the Queen has been killed and you come across items like the Magnetic Accelerator or the Queen Reactor, grab them, man. Now this takes us to an item that is really pretty common, but one that makes such a difference in your loadouts, the Defib. I didn't realize just how valuable the Defib was going to be for my squad, but it is one of the best ways to get your teammates back up and back into the fight. There were so many times that Benny would drop a smoke onto one of our teammates, run in, hit him with the defib, and out they go. Funny enough, you can actually use the defib to revive enemy players. Yeah, so if you come across someone, you shoot them, down them, and then maybe you want to talk to them and be like, hey bro, we're about to go do some stuff. You want to join us? We'll let you live as long as you're the first one to charge into the enemy. You can then defib them, and look at that. You've got a recruit, or you can just kill them again. If you come across a defib, guys, I would highly suggest keeping one on you, and you can even buy a defib from Lance, or you can even craft it. Now this takes us to an extremely valuable trinket that I want you to look out for, and that is Lance's Mixtape. It is the most valuable trinket in the game. And again, every one of these trinkets, guys, they have like this little diamond icon on it. But if you come across this one in particular, this one costs 10,000 coins. So fellas, you want to definitely take it home. Now, are there more valuable items in the game? Of course. But everything that's worth more than Lance's Mixtape is either a high tier weapon, a material for said weapon, or the snap hook, which are all items you probably don't want to sell. The Mixtape only exists to be sold for coin, and you can only find it out in a raid. Now, some honorable mentions in the trinket category, though, includes things like the snow globe, the music box, playing cards, and the red coral jewelry. All of these, though, are worth snagging. Now, granted, it is possible other secret loot is discovered over time and maybe be worth way more than Lance's Mixtape. But for the time being, the Mixtape is simply the best find for your wallet. Now, the last item I'm going to leave you with, guys, is, in my opinion, the one item I need more than anything. More than legendary weapons, more than the godly LMG I got to use during the server slam, more than the snap hook, and that is the recorder. The recorder, which is essentially a flute, really is just like any other trinket, except you can play it. Matter of fact, before you execute your enemies, you can pull your flute out and make them dance, baby. No lie, man, I love this thing. It does something to a man when you pull out a flute in the middle of a gunfight and you start jamming. They don't know how to handle that. And so for me, guys, that one is the most coveted item in Arc Raiders. So guys, that is our list of loot. Let us know in the comments below what item is your most coveted item. What are you chasing? We've got a couple other videos rolling out on Arc Raiders. We're probably live at this very moment. Come join us at twitch.tv/Aztecross. We'll be giving away keys to the game all day, and we would love to have you join us. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.